Hello everyone, this is Aken and welcome for the last part of this video. So I just remembered that I had to put the video on. I don't know if it's this turn or the next. Well, this one. So we'll get a shitty outro.
As with the gentle rising of dawn's first light, our human experience was illuminated by the truth of what we were and what we would become. In that light, we found ourselves. We are together now. We are one. We are waiting.
Okay, congratulations. I have won the harmony stuff. Alright, so what I think of the game, of the expansion at least. So, as you can see, the first problem of this expansion is that it gives you a lot of tools to get an even better game out of it. And the base game wasn't rebalanced to fit these new tools. So I'm getting a ton of extra trade routes. The trade routes system has been reversed, so it's very easy to get new cities going, making overexpansion very easy to achieve, especially now that you almost have no problem to find space, since you can just expand in the water like this. So you just expand a bit everywhere, you don't care where you put your cities. And you just spam your buildings, spam your trade routes. Then you have the problem where you have Utama in the game, and then when you have Utama in the game, he gives by far the best agreement possible. But even if you don't have Utama in the game, the problem is that these trade agreements are very poorly balanced. For example, you have very good one in science and stuff, and then you have very crappy one like paying 15 a turn to get a better capital. So you could get this one just if you are being attacked at your capital. Yeah, this could be useful once in a while. You have these ones that outpost get more 12 more strength. That kind of stuff isn't very good. War of ID, war score points increased by a percentage. Meh. Considering how the AI is unlikely to accept your demand for peace, this stuff is really useless. So you have a ton of agreements, but really in this list there aren't that many that are really useful. And then you have the problem that Utama gives a very strong one. The second problem with the agreement system is the cost compared to when you get them. Usually in a game like Civilization, every system have an effect where it costs not a lot at the start. It gives a small bonus, and then as time progress, the stuff will cost more to give you more. This is like the snowball effect of most systems in civilizations. The problem with the agreement is that it doesn't follow the system at all. So at the start you're making like 10 diplomatic points, but the agreements still cost 9 per turn. So this makes the system really weird, because you will try to avoid getting agreement. The only one you may get are the agreement for workers and settlers, and Utama, of course, because the rest cost way too much compared to what it gives. Then you will so the rest of your points will be invested in your own traits. So this makes the system kind of poor at the start, and then at some point in the game you have a ton of points, of diplomatic points, because this is something that scales linearly, absolutely linearly with how wide your civilization is. So since wide is even easier in this expansion than in the base game, because of this problem with trade routes giving you way too much, you have a system where you can expand more and more and more and more as the game goes on, and this will make your diplomatic capital scales linearly. So once you get big enough, you can get your all 5 agreements at the same time. The other problem with the agreement system is that there are some agreements that are liked by the AI and some that aren't. It doesn't matter at all what the agreement gives. Like you could say yourself, well, the free worker stuff is really cool. The AI will like this. No, this isn't how it works. The AI is probably using some really stupid formula to value the agreement, and it gives and it chooses based on that. For example, in Civilization 5, when an AI was choosing a belief, the belief for Goddess of Protection is way overrated by the AI in the game. So it had a tendency to always pick this one. This here, it's probably exactly the same system. And what this means? It means that, if I show you my active agreement that people are taking from me, well, this has changed over the time, but most people were taking this one, the first responder, which is that cities and outposts give 15 more damage each turn. So, and I don't know why. I don't know why they really like that one. As soon as I take it, two turns later, I was getting agreements left and right, and getting 9 per turn at this stage of the game is really is breaking, because you're making 10 and suddenly someone wants your shitty bonus and you get 9 plus. This doesn't work. I think a way to change the system would be first to make the cost of agreement scale with their bonus, so that you can at the start of the game get really cheap agreements that don't make much, but that would be interesting to get. And then as the game goes on, it costs more and you get more out of them too. Also revalue how the AI evaluate the agreement, so that it's not always the same that gets agreement, so that you don't game the system around that. So this is it, I think, for the agreement system. Another problem is, as you can see, I have 3,400 in my bank, and I have absolutely no use for it. Another problem, but this is more just an annoyance. I don't like this interface. I think it's not clear what I should be doing here. Well, of course, it's which affinity I would get, but if I have just one choice, please just select it for me and just show me. Don't show me the stuff that is the same in both sides. Just show me what I get if I click here and what I get if I click here. Okay, this would be better. Now for the rest of the expansion, so for example, for the water cities. So as you can see, the water cities have this cool mechanic where you move it around using while you produce your moves. So this is a very cool mechanic. I like this. I like the fact that you have to look for when your water cities will be at full capacity, and then at this point you move them. What I don't really like about water cities is that it's mostly the same yield everywhere, so you just spam your farms everywhere, not on the resources but uh, everywhere. So mostly you just spam ocean cities, and you really don't care where you put them, especially when besides titanium, I guess, but especially when things like plankton will give you one gold. I mean, who cares? I don't care about plankton give me one more gold. So you just spam your cities, it doesn't matter, just spam them away, and then you encounter the second problem of the game is that with the new trade routes, your cities will get a ton of yield, and this yield will make very easy to get one building every turn in your new city. And at this point, it really matters not at all where you expand, because you will be able to fight the unearth with your building very easily. So you just expand, you don't care where, and that's what you get. You know, this is just my second game, and I'm able to get the mind flower completed at turn 152, something like this. 152. And I think there was a problem in my game, because I had to wait 21 turns, 21 extra turns after it. I'm not supposed to after building the mind stem and the Xenos Sanctuary, but so this is what you get. Let's take the time where I finish the mind flower as a reference. Maybe I should have made the mind flower in the capital, and maybe I wouldn't have had the bug. I don't know. I don't care. The fact is, I finished the mind flower at turn 150, and this is while expanding in water, not really caring where. Just yeah, there seems to be like some resources here. I will just put my city here. But really, even if there had been zero resources, I would still have expanded in this area. Ocean City make transportation really easy. This is their main strength. So they have some problems like you have to move them. There are some buildings you can do with them, and they kind of lack food in general. But their advantage is that it's very easy to settle, it's very easy to navigate between them, it's very easy to defend, because ships are very good. Well, as long as you make ships, because if you don't, your cities will fall very quickly. And you also don't have to worry about miasma. So expanding in the water completely removes the miasma problem. You just expand, and you don't care about the miasma. You don't care about the forest hindering your movements. You just expand. You expand and blah. You just spam trade routes, and that's it. So yeah, trade routes. This stuff. What is new in this expansion? The artifact system. I like it. I like the artifact system. No problem about it. The artifact system is good. I think the bonuses needs to be rebalanced. For example, I was able to get the wonder that diminishes the cost, and this cost me, what is this? This is this thing. This shouldn't cost 100. This should be a 2000 cost building. 100 is like the cost of like 2 old earth relics for something reducing all technologies cost by 30%. In my previous game I had the other one, the one that was giving you twice as much culture, or dividing the cost by 2, I can't remember, doesn't matter. It was also a 100 cost wonder, and this shouldn't be happening. So yeah, artifacts cool, but needs to be rebalanced, especially the rewards. Maybe make them less random. Uh, it would be cool if the game also had some ways, without having to get out of the game, to know what will happen. For example, what will be the quest rewards for this particular building. What do I need to get this in artifacts? That kind of things. Other than that, the new factions are okay. They aren't really more interesting than the old ones. If anything, Polystralia and Pan-Asian Cooperative have the biggest impact in the game when we pick them. One is getting free wonders, the other getting a ton of extra trade routes. Yeah, the sponsors, the water flow, I really like the water flow. It's very pretty. It's a little bit dark, but I really like it. It makes expanding in water fun, even if I find it too easy. Regarding the AI, this is the same problem as the base game. The AI is too passive. It watch you win the game, but really, honestly, with that kind of snowballing effects the game has because of trade routes, it's too easy anyway to get far above their level. For example, she has only 12 at this stage. As you can see, they like 355. I mean, I was never in danger of losing this game, never. And this is on Apollo difficulty. This is not Soyuz or something. So, well, Soyuz is just the second hardest level, I believe. But I mean, I can't imagine people even playing on Mercury. I mean, what is it? You reach 18, the guy is at 2 or something like that, and you one shot his cities. Who cares? It's not very interesting. But anyway, the AI is rather passive. Yeah, the respect system. The respect system, I don't like it. I don't like it. Period. It's not a balance problem. I think it's just stupid. As you can see, this is the end of the game. Well, this guy doesn't like us, but this is to be expected. But as you can see, everyone else is at 9 on 9. Well, not her, because just because we're doing well. This is a very weird mechanic, because you're doing well, the AI will like you. You're doing badly, the AI will hate you. So the game that you have trouble, you will have a harder time than the game where you're having a great start. This is maybe as a thematic, in a thematic way, it makes sense. Like you're the strongest guy, so nobody wants to mess with you. But in a game way, it doesn't make sense, because it means that it makes easy game easier and harder game harder, and this is not the kind of mechanics that I like. I'd like the AI to be more worried about what I'm doing. Another problem, and this has both consequences for gameplay and scene, is that the respect system doesn't care at all about your affinity. So now I'm playing Harmony. This guy is my friend, is playing Purity. This guy, she's in Supremacy, and yeah, she's my ally. Who cares? Who cares that she wants to annihilate humans and I don't remember, and become robots, while I want to make love with aliens. They should care. It was better in the base game. It wasn't really well made, but at least they they didn't like you because of your affinity. It was making sense. Now it makes no sense at all. It's just your metrics that make sense. It's more important. While an AI will dislike you more because you have a poor energy generation than because you're playing an affinity opposite to itself. This shouldn't be happening. You should have a reason. Affinities should fight between them. So this is my problem with the respect system. I think it's very, very poor diplomacy, and this should be changed. Well, I don't know how they will be able to change it now, but I think it was a terrible idea, and the game should have focused in trying to make diplomacy really diplomatic. Purity guys shouldn't be friends with harmony guys, and there should be an incentive at the end of the game. Well, not necessarily at the end, but in the game, to make ideologies fight each other. That's the point of Beyond Earth. It's the fight between ideologies. If you don't have that, it doesn't work. You have a break of you go against the theme of the game, and it makes the gameplay boring. You know, I want other affinities to dislike me because it makes sense. It makes sense. It would force me to use the units, the cool hybrid units, whatever. So, what else could I talk about? I think I've mostly covered everything new in Rising Tide. So like I said, this is more or less the same as before. It's you will have a few fun games, but don't look there to get a challenge or to get something that will make you really think about your strategies, read forums and stuff. You won't get this even at the hardest difficulty. I can understand the people that don't want to care too much about their game, but in that case I think playing on the lower difficulties should be for them, and I'm perfectly fine with it. But if I put the game on the hardest difficulty, I should have more incentives to think about what I'm doing. And but this is not just a problem of difficulty. I don't want the AI to get like double the bonuses and then be impossible to beat. This wouldn't really change my opinion of the game. My problem is that the kind of stuff like you can expand everywhere, you can ignore the health, you can the specialists are useless, the wonders are useless. You don't have to care about diplomacy, you just have to care about rising up your metrics. So once you get your metrics up, everybody will start to love you. That kind of stuff. So alright, so this is done. This is just my opinion about Civilization Beyond Earth. It's a fun game that you will probably play a few games with and then forget about it. At least if you're like me and you're a very passionate strategy game player. If you're just playing this casually to begin with, maybe it will last you a lot longer. But for me, maybe I honestly won't play any more games after this one. 2 games is probably enough for me to see everything that I had to see. And that's it. And anyway, thank you for listening to this video. I hope you can write me comments on YouTube or in the thread at Civ Fanatics. And anyway, so good luck and play well with Rising Tide. Thank you.